good too. And the voice of it, well, Nikki and I have gone to, and Eric and her husband have a fishing boat. And they're very fishing.
We are 1 minute, 5:29. Yep. I haven't seen him. I think Casey Brady.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Whatever it is, I sit out there, that statue,
Yeah.
progressive woman, is that weeds or are those actual?
Those are weeds, and I've talked to, I'll talk to, they're weeds.
Yes, yes.
And I have a sickle, I was gonna go over and just start.
I did drive by the other day like, what is happening?
Yeah, not good. Okay. It being 5:30, I'll call this meeting of the Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees to order. If everyone would please stand for a moment of silent prayer or reflection and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Turner, would you kindly call the roll?
Trustee Steinwedel?
Here.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Simmons?
Present.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
All present, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move along to the approval of the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting on July 1st, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Reichert. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Moving along down to correspondence. Clerk Turner, do we have any correspondence?
I do have one letter here. It is a greeting card that says thanks, and inside it says, I just wanted to thank you for the prompt assistance with our water situation and getting it shut off so we would get plumbing work done this past Monday, June 30th. Chris and Emily were especially helpful and considerate, and I appreciate them both so much. Thank you again. Best, Amanda June Hinton.
Thank you, Ms. Hitton. Okay, we are now down to proclamations, and I was contacted by our representative on the county board, and Mr. Danny Phelan is here tonight, and I too have a little something to present. So if Administrator Sutton would join us at the front, I would very much appreciate it.
First of all, I'd like to say I've had the opportunity to work with Dustin in many capacities, whether that be village administrator, chief of police, while I'm at Peoria County, while I was at Advanced Medical Transport, now while I'm working for Hein Construction. And Dustin is something that he's truly one of a kind. There's very few people in this world that are like him. And so this means a lot that I get to present this on behalf of Peoria County. So this is a proclamation recognizing Chief Sutton's service as Chief of Police. Whereas Peoria County honors Dustin Sutton for his exemplary service to the village of Peoria Heights on the occasion of his recent retirement as Chief of the Peoria Heights Police Department on June 26, 2025. After 3 decades of dedication to public safety and community leadership, and whereas Sutton began with the Peoria Heights Police Department as a patrol officer in 1995, and was appointed chief of police by the mayor in 1999 at just 27 years old, making him one of the youngest police chiefs in Illinois. And whereas under his leadership, Sutton has built up a top-tier, highly respected law enforcement agency, implementing a code enforcement program, landlord registration program, strengthened regional partnerships, and improved officer recruitment and retention, all while managing a demanding workload. And whereas, in addition to his role of chief of police, Sutton has also served as the village administrator since 2018, working closely with the mayor, village trustees, department heads, and all staff to ensure the responsible use of taxpayer dollars through thoughtful, logical solutions, while also engaging directly with residents, business owners, and property stakeholders to address concerns, improve services, and strengthen the vitality of the community. And whereas a native of Peoria's South Side and graduate of Limestone Community High School, Illinois Central College, the Police Training Institute, and the FBI Academy, Sutton is widely respected for his hands-on leadership, clear communication, and deep commitment to the community. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize Dustin Sutton for his distinguished career in Peoria Heights.
Well, thank you, Danny, and I too have benefited greatly by having consistent leadership here in Peoria Heights. It was kind of a prerequisite for me to run, knowing that I had the shoulders to rely on here. And so the great thing is that with the departure of Police Chief Sutton, we're also able to retain Administrator Sutton upstairs. And so I don't think he knew well, I'd like to think he didn't know any of this, but being Police Chief Sutton, he probably knew that this was going to happen anyway. But I wanted to also read the proclamation from the Village of Peoria Heights. Whereas Dustin Sutton is retiring from the Peoria Heights Police Department after 30 years there, the last 25 years as chief. And whereas Chief Sutton shepherded the Peoria Heights Police Department into a modern law enforcement era, hiring all but 2 members of the current force while devoting himself to the best of both old school and new school policing and training. And whereas Chief Sutton established the highest expectations of his department and always acted with the utmost of professionalism, serving as a role model and mentor for many who wear the badge. And whereas despite its size, the Peoria Heights Police Department has experienced little turnover, thanks in no small part to Chief Sutton's efforts to make local compensation competitive, to catch up with pension funding, and to create a positive work environment while not overburdening taxpayers. And whereas Police Department under Chief Sutton has expanded its reach, starting the likes of the School Resource Officer and Neighborhood Watch programs, and whereas Chief Sutton owns a legendary work ethic, doing double duty as both the village's administrator and police chief since 2018, devoting countless hours to our community in both capacities. And whereas few have had a greater influence on Village Hall and the community outside it, for all the better, and whereas Peoria Heights residents and visitors alike have achieved an uncommon peace of mind, they feel safe in no small part because of the efforts of Chief Sutton and his department. We, the Village Board and Mayor of Peoria Heights, hereby thank Dustin Sutton for his extraordinary service and free him to devote more time to his family, NFL football, and his movie and sports memorabilia collections, all while counting our blessings that he remains at Village Hall, continuing to make his contributions to our community. We are better for you being here. Signed, Matt Wigington, Mayor. Thank you, Chief.
Well, thank you for the kind words, both of you. I appreciate it. I'm not going to give you 30 years of dialogue tonight. I'm not. But I'll tell you, 30 years, 5 mayors, countless board members. I want to thank them for all their support. and what they've done for me over the last 30 years. You know who you are. And the ones that haven't supported me, are we live, Chris? I would say thanks for the challenge. If we weren't live, that would sound more like a dialogue from Sopranos, to be honest with you. But, you know, all the nice accolades these gentlemen just gave me, I couldn't do it without my team. You know, I talk about the employees here, the police department, the administration, public works, the fire department. We have a top-notch group here that we really do. But, you know, I could talk here all night about them, you know that. But I thank you all for your support, the kind words, and I'll still be here. You didn't get rid of me, all right? Thank you. All right.
Okay, so at this time, I'd ask our police chief as well as Officer Kinke and our departmental head, Trustee Weisenberg, to join me at the podium, along with our Clerk Turner for the swearing in.
To do, we're gonna put it right there. You just repeat after me.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Jay Kenke,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of police officer
the duties of the office of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think this is the most cardio a mayor's gotten in a meeting in a long time, so. With that, we'll open up the meeting to comments from the audience on agenda items only. If you do have a comment, please come to the podium and give your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome. Ann Lockhart, 722 East Marietta. I just have a question about the appointments of the 2 members to the Police and Fire Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Who appoints them, and what qualifications do you look for when you appoint them?
Okay, so thank you, Ann. And as you know, public comments are more of a monologue rather than a dialogue, but I'll take on
Thank you.
that. So I appoint the people to the board, and the consent is that of the Board of Trustees. What I look for in my appointments are people who are committed to our community, who've opened up and have put their name forward to try to help move our community forward. And I think I found 2 people that are mentioned on this agenda tonight that do exactly that. So thank you, Ann, for your question. Any other comments or questions? Comments going once, twice. Comments are closed. We'll move along to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board?
I just have one thing, Mayor, just an update for the board. If you remember last year, we put in for the grant down on Route 29 for the lighting. We were unable to get that, just to let the board know. So, and that cost was close to $2 million, if you remember. So we will discuss this in the future, but I just want to give you a heads up on that. I think I know where that's going, but we can have discussions, you know, moving forward on how, if we want to continue moving forward. But the deadline on that is September 1st for IDOT. Okay? So if you have any comments on that, please just reach out to me as soon as possible. Thank you.
So we can, pardon me, so we can reapply for,
I don't think there's another grant in the window for our project
Okay.
to do that, so I think.
isn't this the second time? we've
Yeah, this is the
applied
second
and-
time we put in for it, so I think if we're moving forward, it'll be on our dime.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other old business to come before the board? Okay, we'll move down to new business, and we have a consent agenda. Is there anyone, well, first we'll have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee Simmons, seconded by trustee Reichert. Is there anyone wishing to remove something from the consent agenda?
So can we discuss the items, or do we have to remove them to discuss them?
We have to remove them to discuss them.
Okay. Considering the comments that were made, I would like to remove Barry Rolette and discuss that.
Very well. Mr. Roulette is removed. Anyone wishing to remove anyone else? Hearing none. We'll have a vote to, a roll call vote to approve the remaining consent agenda.
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. We will go down to the remaining item that was removed from the consent agenda, which was the approval of Barry Roulette to the Police and Fire Commission. Trustee Weisenberg?
Sure. So the only comment I wanted to make on the appointment of Barry Rolette to the Police and Fire Commission, the initial comments from the audience was asking about qualifications. I just wanted to state for the public record that I've worked with Mr. Rolette quite a bit over my last 1.5 terms. When we were discussing fire department options, Mr. Rolette put in an extreme amount of time to advise the village board with his fire experience, and there's no one more qualified to join the Police and Fire Commission than Mr. Rolette. So I just wanted to state that for public record, and I wanted to thank him because I know these are often thankless jobs, but we definitely appreciate their work on the commission.
I would second that.
And third, yeah.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Trustee Weisenberg, and I appreciate you, and I see what you've done here. But I appreciate your comments, and, we all have this packet in front of us, but I'll go ahead and read a little bit, if you don't mind. So, Barry Roulette is a lifelong Peoria Heights resident, having lived on Monroe Avenue for all of his adult life. He has shared his current home for 38 years with his wife, Janine. Barry is a graduate of Peoria Heights High School, class of '79, as well as his 2 children, Burl, class of '09, and Ellen, thank you, class of '12. Higher education includes his associate's degree at Illinois Central College in Fire Science Technology and multiple certifications from the Office of the State Fire Marshal and the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Barry's career in the fire service began as a volunteer on the Peoria Heights Fire Department in 1979. He shortly after became a full-time employee of the village as a police and fire dispatcher. Responsibilities there included not only handling communications and responding to emergencies, but also managing the police department leads and NCIC records. He also spent a few years as the village EMS coordinator. In 1987, he left the Peoria Fire Department, where he had a 30-plus year career. The experiences there primarily were in the suppression division, but also spent several years off the street in research and administrative functions. He retired in 2017 and has led to many relaxing years spent enjoying whatever the day brings. And I too can say that during my time when we were going through with various, as head of the Police and Fire Committee, Barry was a very helpful voice and offered a lot of opinions. So any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion to approve Barry Roulette?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee DeVore, seconded by Trustee Weisenberg. Could we have a roll call on that?
Of course, Mayor. Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, we'll move along under more new business. The first item on new business is ordinance 2025-1765, an ordinance approving and authorizing an execution of a redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and Washington Trails Edge LLC and Joseph D. LaHood Sr. and Joseph D. LaHood Jr. On this, we did not receive the ordinance in time for discussion, and I do think we don't want to get out in front of our zoning board either, which this item will be going before zoning 2 weeks from yesterday. So I'll ask for a motion to defer to our next meeting, which would be August the,
September.
I think August,
Oh, is that right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. I'm ahead of myself.
It's okay.
That would be August 19th.
August
August
19th.
I make a motion to defer.
Second.
Motion to defer by trustee Simmons, seconded by trustee DeVore. Any comments or questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call on that.
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you. We're going to move along to ordinance 2025-1766, an ordinance approving and authorizing an execution of a First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and Shekinah Investments LLC, Deborah Kuykendall, 4711 North Prospect Road. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by trustee Kazam, seconded by trustee Steinwaddle. Trustee Kazam?
So we have counsel here this evening to elaborate on anything, but after reading this, it looks like this is an administrative modification as to who the reimbursement would be dispersed to. Is that correct?
Correct. It was just, she wanted it paid out to the LLC, which was not in the original agreement, and therefore the board has to vote on it again.
Okay.
Yep. So it's kind of a housekeeping.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions or concerns about this?
Just
Okay.
to remind the board, this is a reimbursement for an awning that was placed at their building, and I think those bills were submitted in a timely manner, if I'm not incorrect.
And that was for the $2,242? Okay.
Okay. So hearing no more questions or comments, we'll have a roll call vote on that.
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
Okay. Moving along, ordinance 2025-1766, an ordinance approving and authorizing an execution of a business development district agreement by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and Francis D. Abenauer, doing business as Frank's Famous Italian Beef, 4408 North Prospect Road. Trustee Kazam?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Kazam and a second, I'm going to give that to trustee Reichert on. And I do see Frank in the audience here. So Frank, if you wanted to come up as well. Trustee Kazam, do you have anything?
No, I was going to ask if Mr. Abenauer had anything to add to this. I would just like to say we're thrilled to have you back in the Village of Peoria Heights. It's very exciting.
Great to be here. I do want to say, this has been I've probably opened up 4 or 5 restaurants in my career, and this has probably been the easiest restaurant I've ever opened with permits, working with a government agency. You guys have made it incredibly easy, and I know it's a small business, but the obstacles in other areas I looked at were just so much greater than this. And thank you. The outpour has been great. I gotta tell you, it's so nice coming back to the Heights. I really am coming home.
Frank, when did you leave? You had an amazing business here for many years, the Spotted Cow.
For 20
And you left,
years.
what year? Remind me.
We left in 2005.
2005. Okay, so we're
And,
welcoming you back
yeah.
in 2025.
And actually, my son, I'm doing this, my son is going to actually be the owner. Once we get everything rolling, I'll transfer it all to him, once I feel he's got everything down. So it'll probably be never knowing the controlling interests I have, you know. But yeah, I can't thank the village enough. You guys have been just awesome to deal with. And people are, every day we're down there, and we're real close. We're probably, I was going to open next Monday, but they're tearing that lot up. He's gonna redo that parking lot, so we're just waiting until I can get the cement dry, and then we're ready to go. So thank you all for everything.
Thanks, Frank.
Welcome home. Thank you.
Yes, it is good to be home.
And Frank, just make sure you get that quote correct, how business-friendly we are with Mike Bailey over there. Okay. Any other question or comments from the board? Okay, so.
Ice cream will follow soon, so.
Okay, all right. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Steinwaddle. Trustee Kazan.
Aye.
Trustee Simmons.
Aye.
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. We're down to administration and finance under Trustee DeVore. On the agenda is approval of a street closure for homecoming parade on Friday, September 19th, 2025. Trustee DeVore?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have motion by Trustee DeVore and seconded by Trustee Reichert. Any comments or questions? We have a few board members from the school board here, I noticed. Anyone want to come talk about this? Okay. Hearing no more, have a roll call vote on that?
Trustee Steinwaddle.
Aye.
Trustee Kazan.
Aye.
Trustee Simmons.
Aye.
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Motion carries, great. Okay, we're down to police under Trustee Weisenberg. Discussion of a solar panel flashing stop sign at Lake and Boulevard. Trustee Weisenberg?
Thanks, Mayor. I'd like to open the discussion on installing a solar-powered flashing stop sign westbound on Lake at the intersection there at Lake and Boulevard. That's a high-traffic street. At night, there's some visibility issues on that street. Cars just blare right through there. Over the years, I've had a lot of requests and complaints from citizens along Lake about how dangerous that intersection is. So I think if we had something at night that would catch motorists' attention, hopefully that at least slows them down a little bit.
Just a comment you made, Trustee Weisberg, as far as the complaints over the years. The only reason there's been a delay on this is because, as you know, half of it is in the city.
Right.
We tried to get the city involved. Maybe we could do it all at one time. We haven't had that good of luck doing that. So I think with the complaints coming in like they are, I think we'll go ahead and handle our side. I think
Okay.
westbound, we get a lot of complaints, so I think we'll start here. We'll continue to try to work with the city to get them to do
Okay.
the same thing on the other side, but I think we're past waiting.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you think if we were to install our side, do you think that might nudge them along?
I hope. If not, I will continue to follow up with phone calls, but I think that it's time to go ahead and work on our side, and then
Okay.
we'll hopefully Peoria follow suit.
Perfect.
Do we have a cost on this? Minimal?
We do not. I do know we had budgeted this year for quite a few stop signs and solar powered in certain areas, so it is something we have, X amount of dollars to spend.
Okay.
I think we'll take a chunk of it, but I think that line item was pretty hefty. So,
Thank you, Chief.
It will only be one sign.
Yes,
We only-
westbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Trustee Weisenberg, I assume this is a product of your sign committee that you've been
Yes.
working on? So
Yeah.
thank you for your efforts and Trustee Simmons' efforts on this, and I know that's still a work in progress, but thank you.
Yeah, and I know it's not necessarily about the flashing stop sign, but we do have some other signs that we're currently discussing. Some slow children at play signs, and then also some signs that when you make that transition from Peoria to Peoria Heights, a sign that says "Welcome to Peoria Heights." One of the complaints we often get is, like, especially from solicitors, they say, "We don't know we're in Peoria Heights." Well, if we have a sign that says "Welcome to Peoria Heights," when you make that transition, maybe that'll cut back on the soliciting and that
Yes,
sort of thing.
and I think,
So,
we especially about the Welcome to Peoria Heights issue, I definitely want some thought, and, if we need to look for TIF money for that or BDD money for that, if possible, to make sure that we have a nice welcome to Peoria Heights, and everything is consistent across. I know that was a concern too, so But thank you both for your efforts.
Thank you.
And also back to confirming, how we go about doing this with the street sign. We do traffic studies, and I know Chief Ahar can confirm that we've done that over the year.
Yeah, we did the stationary radar and monitored that number. The amount of speed or traffic on Lake definitely warrants this.
So Trustee Weisenberg, what do you need, or Administrator Sutton, what do you need from us as far as this? We're good to move forward?
Yeah, just an approval. It's within my spending threshold, but I wanted to bring it to the board, make sure we're on the same page.
Can we do that with a voice vote, or do we want it on the next agenda item, or
Let's turn to council.
the discussion's on the agenda, not an approval?
You're right, it does say discussion. We'll put it on the next agenda.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Trustee Weisenberg. Thank you, Trustee Simmons. More discussion down at miscellaneous, and then I'll also ask for all the other trustees to report as well. But I'll kick things off. So one of the things is the further collaboration with Bradley University. As you know, the community kitchen with the Turner Center is kicked off, and they've already had a couple of vendors come in there. One of them was barbecue ribs, and I think it was a big hit. I had talked to one of the vice presidents of marketing over at Bradley, and I asked him, along with Jim Foley, how can we collaborate with you to be a welcoming community for Bradley, and how can we continue to show, our appreciation, but also our eagerness to have a joint mission. And he had spoken with President Shadid there, and they are very eager to partner with us and find ways that, one, to support our downtown, but also maybe feature us as a tool for recruitment for Bradley as well. So that is something that I think would be a welcome addition here, and something that we could use with Bradley. And then in my discussions with that marketing, the vice president there, I had just brought my daughter down to Carbondale for a summer camp at Southern Illinois University. And one of the things that I noticed on the streets was that they'd put their logo on the street, like literally just painted on. And I don't want to do that on all over the heights, but maybe in certain places in front of Kingman, where it leads to the Turner Center, I said, how could we utilize your logo? And there's a whole manual on it, on how to do that they sent over. But needless to say, they were very excited to do that. So I did speak with Superintendent Chandler on what the cost would be to basically use their own stencil to put a bee shield on the street to denote where this Bradley is. And Superintendent Chandler, did you have a cost?
Yeah, it would be very minimal cost, white traffic paint that we already have purchased for our striping and stuff. That's the same paint we would use for that. We're not talking about some 25-foot logo, we're 6, 8 feet, whatever it would be. It would be pretty minimal.
Okay. So, yeah, and they're going to provide the stencil. So there's really no cost to the village minus a little paint.
And it does have to be one color, correct?
And
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be one color. So I wanted to bring that to the board and see what the reception was, if that were something that you were interested in, and any feedback from the board.
I think it's a neat idea.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
a wonderful concept.
It's super exciting. I guess my only my thought on this would be, as we rewrite our code, would this be categorized as a mural, or is this something completely in its own, entity? It's a logo or something like that, and then how would that? I don't necessarily see a challenge right now, but I just want to bring that one point up, because as we go forward, I know that we've had some conversation about murals in the community and how we're going to embrace or regulate that type of thing.
Yeah, I think during the traffic study, one of the things they had was like a street art, was a traffic calming device.
Okay.
If I remember in that traffic study that Tri-County put on. So I think this would be more in line with more of a traffic calming device
Okay.
for Kingman.
Great.
Yeah. I've read that too, you know, when someone sees something in the street, just like, you know, narrowing the street, but having something in the street catches someone's eye and they naturally slow down, so, yeah. And it's kind of like a, you know, a marker for Bradley, but that is also a historic building for us, so I see it kind of as a marker, so.
Okay, well then, we'll just put that on, this is just a discussion item, so I'll put that on the next agenda, so thank you for your feedback. Next discussion item was becoming an Illinois American 250 community. So Brad Cole over at Illinois Municipal League had reached out, and various communities all over the state are getting ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States since July of 1776. And so one of those things to participate in this is we would have to, for Peoria Heights to participate, is we'd have to have some sort of either programming or some sort of event for the 250th. We'd have to commit to doing something like that to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. And I wanted to see if that would be something that the board would want to celebrate. So I would just ask if there are any objections to celebrating America.
No objections.
No objections here, yeah.
So when you become a Illinois American 250 community, like, what does that mean? Is it just gonna be like, that we're gonna be marketed, like?
Yeah, so they put a commission, of course, there's a commission together. So this is the letter from Brad Cole. We just celebrated the 4th of July, and a year from now, our nation will soon mark a historic milestone, commencing the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration on Independence on July 4th, 2026. Communities across Illinois are encouraged to take part in this celebration. The Illinois Municipal League invites all municipalities to participate in the Illinois American 250 commemoration, a statewide effort to honor our nation's founding and reflect on the role Illinois communities have played in our country. As part of this initiative, municipalities are encouraged to begin planning local events, collaborating with civic organizations, promoting historical education and engagement. To formally participate, communities may adopt a model resolution and notify both the Illinois American 250 Commission and IML. So that would be basically it. We pass a motion and then have some events.
We be having a, I mean, obviously, we all want to celebrate this, but would we have a committee and put on an event? Is that what you're suggesting, or is it?
I think we could collaborate with various people in our community to try to, or organizations in our community to try to put on some sort of event here in Tower Park or something like that.
I won't try to pronounce it, but when we did our 125th, the carnival was a huge hit. And what better reason to have another carnival than the 250th anniversary of America?
I think it all sounds exciting for the community.
I'm just seeing dollar signs, but that's okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that on people's radar if that is something we'd want to move forward with.
Like,
Now, one thing that Brad Cole also mentioned in this letter, and I skipped over it, IML is also putting together a time capsule for the various communities to put something in for the 250th anniversary of the United States. And so they were looking for very small objects. And so I'm looking over at Trustee Reichert, who is, loves this stuff. She just showed me some of her findings just today. She didn't know I was going to talk to her about this. Now, one thing that I found was a penny that was smashed right here. And so I think we're looking for things like this. Now, this is Tower Park, Peoria Heights. But if we have small items that, basically one small item that we can put in to this time capsule, we're encouraged to do so. We have till December 31st to identify that item. So that might be some sort of fun thing that we can do with our community as well to identify something that we want to put in to this time capsule from Peoria Heights.
When's the capsule gonna be opened? That might help.
50 years.
50 years.
And where will it be located?
I'm guessing Springfield,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Great.
Is that
Sounds
something?
like you need to assign a committee
Yeah, well, Trustee Reichert is gonna be on it, so.
and a budget.
Penny to Springfield.
Budget, find something. Okay, so we'll get together, but Trustee Reichert, we'll talk more on that as well. With that being said, that is all for me. I will open it up to the other trustees with anything to report.
I was reached out, I've already talked to Mayor Wigington about this, from a former Peoria Heights graduate that is in charge of, or is in one of the head people for the EPIC program. It is a program for people with disabilities and things like that, where they come into your community and they kind of help clean up, and you assign them tasks that they come one day a week and just kind of look at some stuff. And I wanted to get the board's opinion on your thoughts of having them come in, and whether it be help outside or inside, or just something we can find for them to do. They recently lost one of their clients and they're looking to fill the space. So they thought this would be a good spot for them to land. So if you guys want more information, I can reach out and get some more, and maybe have her come to the next meeting and
That would be
answer
great.
some questions for you guys about what they kind of do. And
That would be helpful. I'd
Yeah.
love to have more
all
information
right, you
about
guys are
this.
okay.
More
Well,
information.
I will reach out and get something, so maybe we can have a discussion on the agenda.
Yeah,
The next
absolutely.
meeting.
We'll put
Okay.
that on. Trustee Steinwaddle, anything to report?
Sure. First thing, downtown business district area, I talked to Administrator Sutton about this. One thing that was brought to my attention is the street side landscaping along the sidewalks where the trees are in the little square areas. Those aren't being maintained, and if they are, they're being maintained by the business owners in front, which kind of leads to one person doing what they want, the other person doing what they want. I talked to Minister Sutton. It sounded like we had used to maintain that, because now we just have weeds and dirt there and some old landscaping that might be left over, but I figured we'd take a look at that, maybe get that on a discussion and see who's going to be responsible for that, or what we want to do with those little areas.
Yeah, I've had some discussion with Superintendent Chandler as far as the history of it. I know that, as far as the uniformity of it, that's what happens when you have, a couple people doing their own. But if that's what we're looking at, I think that moving forward, we come up with some program that we hit that in certain times, and we hit the other parts of the parks and everything else. So, yeah, we've discussed that, and we'll get that taken care of.
Awesome, thank you. On the fire department business, I wanted to report Station 2. We did have forced masonry down there to look at the building. We do have some damage that needs to be addressed down there. A couple cinder blocks need to be refaced, and some tuck pointing. I believe we've got an estimate in that's below the $2,500 threshold. As far as Station 1, we have got one bid for new flooring, since we are missing flooring on portions of it. So that is, we'll have to get 2 more bids because it is over that threshold. While we were there, we also did notice around some of the air conditioning vents, it appears that there is a little bit of mold. I went ahead, reached out to a mold remediation company. They are coming by, I believe, tomorrow to do a visual inspection and kind of direct us in a direction that we can take to get the mold out of that portion of the building and look for anything else in this building. I believe that is it, and I'm sure Fire Chief Artis would have his report.
Thank you, Trustee. The alarm totals for July were 86 alarms. There were no fires. We had 2 accidents that were minor in nature, 1 cardiac arrest, and the other alarms were EMS and CO alarm.
I also just wanted to thank the Peoria Heights Fire Department for successfully executing another 4th of July parade. It was very exciting. The kids love it. The entire community is always invited. It's not super well publicized, but there's always a sign right here in front of the Congregational Church. And I think this year we probably had 100 people. And it's just so generous. They open up the fire hydrants, the kids run through it. It's become a tradition. I think it's been happening for over 20 years, so thank you very much. I think the firefighters enjoyed it as well.
I have an update. It's very exciting. We've received 4 proposals for the Glen project that Wayne had been working on for us to be able to expand in the sidewalks and such. And currently, right now, Tri-County is actually scoring those applications for us, so we should have an update after they finish through to see what's gonna be the best option for us, but that's kind of in the works, so we thought we'd give an update.
Great.
Trustee Simmons, anything?
I have a couple things. Andres Park Playground Survey to the public closed August 4th. Mayor Wigington and I attended a semi-informal public meeting at the park. It was a nice day for that. And I wanted to mention that the survey was published on the village website for those to put in their input on which playground system they were wanting to pick. And I believe, if I am correct, Mayor, that the Peoria Park District will have a discussion of the results on their meeting August 13th.
That's correct.
And it is going to be a park that will be more accessible.
So that'll be our second accessible playground in the community, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
And if I may move to lead service line replacement report. Completed work over the previous 2 weeks. Construction progress meetings were held on July 23rd and the 30th. The contractor continued outside investigations along Scioto Avenue, Atlantic and Moneta Avenue, and conducted replacements along Moneta Avenue and Scioto Avenue. As of July 29th, the number that I have is 52 replacements. Chris, correct me if I'm...
That sounds correct, yes.
So we've got 52 lead line replacements had been completed, and 14 services have been determined not to require replacements.
And that was from last week.
Yep.
So they've had a whole nother week of
They've had additionals
installations,
done,
yeah.
yeah.
That's, thank you, Trustee Simmons. And I have asked Jackie and her team from Woodard and Curran to be at our next meeting to give us more of and Trustee Simmons sits in all these meetings. She does that on a weekly basis.
Right.
I have sat in with her on some of those as well. But she is really, I appreciate, Trustee Simmons, your attention to this. But I have asked Jackie and her team at Woodard and Curran to come. What they did tell me today is from their involvement to now, they have secured $13,830,000, and $11,868,000 of that is for forgivable grants and loans. So for our water projects throughout the village, we've been able to get $13,830,000 to date, and we've got a lot more work to do.
We do.
But I think that's pretty admirable of the focus and attention that this board and previous boards have been putting to this project. So I applaud this whole board for their attention to this matter.
Mayor, a few things.
I also, if I may, I want to say that Chris and Emily are very instrumental in this process as well, taking comments from the public, taking calls, helping the process with 5-star, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, just a lot of it is just explaining to people what's going on.
It's
You know,
important.
a lot of people don't know what's going on, and we try to explain as best we can.
Thank you, Chris.
And I can say 5-Star Energy is, in my opinion, going above and beyond, being very helpful with trying to make this as easy on all the residents as they possibly can, including the ones that are not getting replaced and having to deal with the roads and that stuff. They're doing everything they can.
So the $13 million, is that something that we're gonna maybe put an update on the website on? Because I know a lot of people, you know, they sit there and say nothing's being done, but $13 million may be the most money that's ever been invested in the water system for the last 125 years. So if we could get some kind of regular update on the website.
And note taken, Trustee Weisenberg. And so Trustee Simmons and I sat down with Jackie maybe a month ago. And I said, I need this, this data. In fact, that's why I told them to come, because I want them to be, to explain what kind of progress we're making, what kind of investments we are making into the village. And, some people may say that where do these grants and loans come from, but it either goes to Peoria Heights or it goes somewhere else.
Right.
So, that is, I applaud our staff and our consultants in securing this. And so they'll come and report that, and they'll bring some material that we can use to showcase.
And then with the lead line service replacements, they're tearing up sidewalks. Are those sidewalks going to be repaired? The problem I see on Marietta is all the sidewalks are kind of like this. So when we come in and fix the sidewalks, are we going to build new sidewalks like this? Or are we going to build a proper sidewalk, and then what are we going to do about the sidewalks that connect to it?
So they will be replacing everything that they tear out. That's part of the contract, yes.
But how's that going to work like on Marietta when most of the sidewalks are like this?
They will, I assume, replace it as it was.
So we're going to put new sidewalk in slanted?
Well, I mean, all sidewalks have a slant to them. They're
No,
not
yeah,
flat.
I understand that.
Yes,
Yeah, but
yes.
not like the ones on
Well, I mean, if
Marietta.
the village wants to approach replacing blocks of sidewalks, which we know the sidewalk program in this situation.
Yeah, well, I think
you know,
it's
that's-
something we need to discuss.
Your initial question, though, is they are replacing the panels of the sidewalk that they are tearing out.
I just don't know how they're gonna do that, because some of them that are torn out, like the sidewalk, you have the curb that's like this, the sidewalk's like this. So when they come in and replace the sidewalk, are they gonna put it like it's supposed to be, or are they gonna put it back like this?
Yeah, it
I
sounds,
don't understand how.
sounds like a good work for like a grind, to try to do as best we can to even it out. But yeah, I mean, if they replace what they break up, then it's probably on us to.
I guess I'm not a concrete guy, I don't know how you pour slanted concrete.
If
That's
I
typically
may-
not how you typically lay concrete, but.
If I may, during our next Wednesday meeting, conference call, we'll bring this up and we'll
Okay.
discuss this and see what our options are. If we do any other alterations, it is going to cost more, but it is something that if we're going to move through the process, we should do it right.
That's
And
kind of what I was getting at.
I validate
yeah.
your notes, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
There's
Yep.
some ways to level concrete aside
Absolutely.
just from replacing it. so.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
Woodard and Kern does have engineers
They
on
do.
site all week. There's somebody here pretty much every day from them, so they're making sure that everything they're doing is what needs to be done.
And I want to mention that some of the road patches and the gravel that you're seeing, please excuse our dust right now, that's temporary. They're going to come back and put those streets back together the way they were. Some of the holes ended up being larger than they anticipated because the lines were deeper or not in that exact location where we anticipated or searched for it in the beginning. So that's part of the course of this type of process. Those lines have been there for years, but we are going to restore those streets and those sidewalks.
Any other miscellaneous business?
I can report that some people might see some loose rock on some streets around town. That's our spray patching that's will be done tomorrow, I believe. And then, we'll let that break into the road as much as we can before we sweep that all up. So, once again, bear with our
Yeah.
dust there.
And that goes to the sill coating as well,
Yeah,
because
the
we're
seal-
instrumental in having them aware that don't do any sill coating until the
Right, yeah.
road patches
The
have been
seal coating is
completed
planned to
correctly.
take place
Right.
the end of this month.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Superintendent Chandler. With that, we'll move along to general comments from the audience. If you have a general comment, please come to the podium. Give your name and address, and try to keep your comment to 5 minutes. General comments going once, twice. General comments are closed. Trustee Kazam, I think you're up.
We've never done this in 6+ years. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by trustee Kazam, seconded by trustee Weisenberg. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
That was good. And I think Brandon makes a really good point.
He does.
You know, that's just something that needs to be discussed.
Sam's going.
Like, I'd like to go see what he's talking about in specific areas.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I know, exactly, like, that was impressive. I'm in the chair, I'm in the chair. Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
That was always Jeff Getz.